Marcellus, I'll start with you. The war on the black quarterback is over, yes or no?
Yes, it is over. When our own Michael Vick was released from jail and got a second $100 million contract, I said the war is over. And then I kept hearing shots. Pop, pop. I'm like, I thought the war was over. And there are a few instances where you could say maybe a little contradiction out there, maybe a little hypocrisy, maybe the war isn't over, just some of the mass fighting has ceased. Let's go to some of these instances. Top, middle of the pack, and bottom. I'm going to give you 3 echelons of quarterback, and you tell me what these quarterbacks look like on the other side with the black-white conversation. At the bottom, there's a Nate Peterman out there. Oh, he is bum work. I mean, that's what we call him in locker work. Bum work. 5 interceptions and a half one time. Is there a black Nate Peterman in the NFL? I'm waiting. Anybody? Okay, okay. Let's go to the middle of the pack when you can fail forward. You got potential. It hasn't materialized yet. E.J. Manuel. Is there a white version of a fail forward? E.J. Manuel.
Is there a white version of E.J.
Yeah. That E.J. Manuel can't get another chance?
No, he just got signed.
No, he can't get another chance.
He just got signed.
Signed, yeah, but get another chance. How long was he on the streets?
I get it, but it happens.
It happens to the white quarterback too?
Yes. No, I get it. You're throwing these out.
Okay, and Aaron Rodgers, who is never your fault. Come on, Aaron Rodgers. At the top. We're at the top now, right? Aaron Rodgers, you know what? It's your coach's fault. No, it's not. It's all your teammates. Damn it, if you just give Aaron Rodgers something to work with. Is there Cam Newton gets that kind of respect?
Cam ain't won a Super Bowl, and Cam ain't Aaron Rodgers.
Cam been in the Super Bowl. And that's my point. That's my point. There's no equivalency. So there's just a shot here and there. There's a contradiction here and there. There's a hypocrisy here and there. But I'm with you, Whitlock, in full lockstep pretty much. 90-some%. The war has ceased.
They
But
don't care, man.
I don't think the war has ceased.
Really?
Has more opportunities been afforded to black quarterbacks? Absolutely. Especially when you talk about kids that are getting drafted out of college. And that's because all of these offenses are kind of tailor-made in the college game. So you see a guy like E.J. Manuel. We'll mention him. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who's from my hometown, from my area. So he's a guy who's a first-round draft pick. Heck, top 5, right? Where did he go? 8, 9. But first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Top 10.
They're labeled, he's labeled a bust. And he doesn't get another chance.
He didn't.
Right or wrong. I mean, he might have.
Man, stop
yeah,
that.
he just signed.
He just signed.
You're right. You're right. He just signed with the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
But a guy like Matt Schaub, who I was drafted with, continuously gets backup roles.
And
other guys get back
to a Pro Bowl.
But other guys get. I feel like white quarterbacks get those backup roles a lot more. Now, the starter, you got to be great. You got to put numbers up. Cool. I understand it's not a ton of black quarterbacks in the league right now who garner starter roles. But at some point, these kids should be able to get a chance to be developed, and hence being a backup, being on a practice squad. Vernon, you've been in locker rooms. You have too. You've been in locker rooms. How many black backup quarterbacks do you see that get the time to develop and groom? You'll get a chance fresh out of college because you were a good college player. But to me, I don't see it.
I see your point.
I don't see it sustained throughout the process of guys' careers. They get ran in and out a lot faster.
I see
shorter
your point.
leash.
I don't agree
But hold up, Whitlock. Hold up. I have a point to make.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Okay.
But I understand what you guys are saying, right? You're saying that it's the color of our skin is the reason why these black quarterbacks aren't getting the shot, right? What about what they're doing in the locker room? Do we know what those guys are doing in the locker room? Is it because of their presence in the locker room? Is it because they're not being the best example in the locker room? Or is it just because of what the color of their skin? What exactly is it? Can you guys pinpoint those things?
I mean, to me, it's kind of like a generational thing. Like I tell people all the time.
Geno Smith's still in the league and backing up Phillip Rivers. I'm trying to catch up.
Okay. You got maybe one or two, maybe
there's
3.
There's some guys. But keep going.
Charlie
Batch built a hell of a career.
Here's a summation.
You don't see that anymore.
The summation is the penalties are harsher for the black quarterback if he's inadequate compared to the white quarterback. That's why I say there's a Nate Peterman and there's
get a shorter
no
leash.
black version.
Yeah.
1. 2, this is reflective of what society has shown us in terms of black equality. And I'm not mad at this, but I do understand that there is some issue. Here's the thing. More people of black likeness, most people of black likeness have a better existence than before, but not all. And with the black quarterback, look, we're not in a place where we're saying you're exiled to Canada and play a different position, Warren Moon, in the 80s, and we're not in the place where we were in the 90s where there were very few. We saw 12 quarterbacks start in the playoffs this year. Almost half of them were black, 5 of the 12. And there were only 9 starting black quarterbacks. Think about it. 5 of 9 starting quarterbacks that were black made it to the playoffs, which is almost half of that. But there is still a shorter leash for the black quarterback.
I disagree, and I disagree to the point of we spend so much time discussing the limitations and the lack of opportunity instead of infusing young people with, no, there's actually tremendous opportunity out here.
Yeah.
And I think we're mistaken by not focusing on the opportunity because I'm just telling you, there's so much money to be made in the NFL that they just don't have time to sit around
say,
and go,
hey,
let
you're
me
good,
pass.
but I'm not going to.
Yeah, let me pass on Deshaun Watson. Let me pass on Dwayne Haskins. You're talking about Kyler Murray had 1 year starting. He's about to go number 1.
They did pass on Deshaun Watson based on what he did in his resume. That's what the conversation was. Because he could have been the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, he wasn't the first quarterback.
You know who went before him who's better than him? Patrick Mahomes.
No.
No, Patrick Mahomes.
Deshaun Watson, different years.
No, Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes in the same draft. Same draft.
Same draft?
And Jared Goff, right?
No.
Patrick Mahomes.
I know Patrick Mahomes and
Deshaun Watson, same draft. Patrick Mahomes plays for the
Who was the first quarterback taken?
I'm not. They make mistakes all the time. Trubisky. Jamarcus Russell was the first quarterback taken.
Right.
They make mistakes at the top, but
they make green decisions.
Nobody's sitting around going, "Hey, man, let's not do this. Let's not run Colin Kaepernick out there in front of Alex Smith. Let's not take Patrick Mahomes and run him out there instead of Alex Smith." People are just trying to win. There's too much money to be made. And again, when I'm going to get to my central point, my jumping off point, when Dak Prescott is about to get $30 million per year,
reportedly,
or 25 or 24, I'm just sorry. Dak is about to get it rained on him like that.
Jerry's a little different, though. Jerry values different things, and he likes this kid. He loves this kid. I don't think every franchise in the league is going to pay Dak Prescott between $25 and $30 million. Like I've always said.
But that's not a race issue.
And I stand beside it. Yeah.
That's a production issue.
It is to me.
But my point, if you can be dink and dunk Dak and come on, man.
But why are you putting Dak down?
That's because Jerry likes him.
But look at what he's done. He has the most touchdowns since 2016, as well rushing touchdowns, as well as the most wins since 2016. So you have to look at those statistics. You can't say that Dak is not, he's not proficient in this area or that area, but look at what he's done. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah. I mean, Dak wins games, and that's why I want Dak on my team, but it has to be for the right price. No,
would you
I will
pay
not
him
pay.
25? Would
No,
you
I
pay
will
him
not.
25?
I would, and I'm one.
But you want to know why?
I'm one of his greater critics, but I will say this: you have to combine the production with the personality, and he fits the star. He fits America's team, just like the coach does. If Jason Garrett can manage those personalities as well as he does in the locker room, and deal with the personalities in the organization,
Jason Garrett getting paid like Belichick?
Hold on, we're not done, and we're talking about Dak Prescott at the quarterback position who won't step in it. Like, he's literally in that position of leadership and balances it out with his production.
Woo! He said it all.
Man, don't give him none of that. From a front office standpoint, would you put $30 million or $27 million in Dak Prescott, or would you like for Dak Prescott to make a round 15 to 20 and pay another? Look, we saw what he did with Amari Cooper. I'm saying, add a guy like Antonio Brown to that mix as a guy who's garnering $12 to $15 million
but
of Dak's salary, so I'm not paying Dak 30.
You're not respecting the capologist
but I'm just saying, if you put guys around Dak, he doesn't have to be as prolific.
But even in that number, in that cap hit, you can still put people in that room. Look at the cap.
Can't for $30 million.
Hold on, bro.
I'm going to argue the cap.
Hold up.
That's over our pay.
I'm going to have to go with D'Angelo. I'm going to have to go with D'Angelo. D'Angelo has seen it all. I mean, he's been in systems where guys, where the quarterback wasn't, maybe wasn't good, or maybe he's good. He's seen it all. We can't argue.
That don't
with
mean
the
you
man.
can't dress up a
The
quarterback.
man got a point.
You ain't got to overpay him, though, Marcellus.
This is not,
overpaying
y'all
for the
know what the
sake of
cap has done
overpaying?
every single. The cap just went up another $10 million.
It does.
Since
It
2011, it
keeps
goes
going
up $10 million
It keeps going
per
up.
year. Think about what the average salary was when the cap was in 2011. $18 million was the highest salary.
Marcellus.
Now it's 33 and a half
Marcellus,
and
I've
growing.
sat and listened to you talk about Dak all last season.
I said I'm a critic.
And now you sitting here thinking 25 to 30 million a year?
Yes. One, they're going to have the room to do it. They only have to pay DeMarcus Lawrence if he doesn't sign his franchise tag this year outside of cap. So think about this. If you go forward, the cap is going to absorb this. 10 more million to the cap.
Let me reframe it. Let me reframe it.
The numbers are going up,
Let me
y'all.
reframe it. Dak Prescott walks into that locker room, 52 other guys. That's the $25, $30 million a year quarterback.
No, yeah.
How is the people in that locker room 25, 30
As long as you
million?
say quarterback in that
biggest-
sentence?
The biggest part of our cap is going to him?
Mm-hmm. Don't you say quarterback in that sense?
That would be an issue in the locker room, in my opinion.
I mean, that would definitely be an issue. And I'm looking at some of these top rated quarterback averages, and they're great quarterbacks. They'll be Hall of Famers. Some even have rings already. But do you really see Green Bay going to win a Super Bowl next year or in the next 5 or 6 years paying Aaron Rodgers $33 million? Mm-hmm. Do you see Atlanta paying Matt Ryan $30 million, being able to
2 years ago they were in it.
Yes, they were 2 years ago.
Just saying.
And if you want to pay a guy, that's the thing about the quarterback position. They pay guys for what they did, not for what they are doing or what they're projected to do moving forward. Right. You look at it at a corner. At corner, every year, your name was on the chopping block. If I was making $10 million and I had 4 picks instead of 7, they thought, or got beat for 3 touchdowns, we might want to. Can we talk about adjusting that contract?
I love you.
The quarterback position, you don't get that.
I love you, D'Angelo. That's a you problem, bro. You picked the wrong position, or God did. Look at these numbers. Does he not fit in this category? Does he not fit in the conversation with a Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, Stafford, Derek Carr?
Not Jimmy G, not Stafford.
He fits in that world? No,
not even.
Not
Kirk,
by production, not by
man.
numbers. I'm not talking about by talent. I'm talking about what you actually execute on the field.
By
I'm talking about
wins,
what you gonna
absolutely.
get. Return on investment.
By wins.
Did y'all
Too
see
much.
Jimmy G before?